Evening all, look at this, we're back on Earth. We're back in the Cosmodrome, which is just basically just rust and dirt everywhere. A little bit dust-like, maybe, he said with a big smiley face. Anyway, what we're going to do is just roll around. We're just going to show some of the stories that we've done. So you may remember way back we did the whole piece of just sniping from a distance. Again, this is kind of what I'm really liking to see. Now, if you don't know, there is an area in this game which, well, in fact, there's going to be many, but there's one particular in this that we will get to at the end, maybe in a couple of videos' time, because we do migrate there eventually, where the enemies fight each other. So the NPCs actually fight each other. So as a hunter, which is kind of like a, I don't know, well, a hunter, you know, that's actually probably the most descriptive word of that character is this character sits back with the sniper rifle or the rocket launcher, and it just basically sits and watches and waits. Tick follows tock, follows tick, follows tock. That's kind of what I do with this character, and I'm quite liking that as we almost die. And one of the things that I'm kind of curious, I guess, about is what level of power-ups this character is going to get. Anyway, we'll talk about that in a minute. So I like to just show this kind of thing because it was just me playing solo, and I think there is something quite special about a game that just allows you just to pick your own pace. Usually most games have a pace, don't they? And it's usually, you know, run around the corner, fight, run around the corner, fight. You know, and if you take games like Dust 514, very, very fast-paced in theory. And if you take games like let me think. Battlefield 4, again, Call of Duty, all remarkably fast. You know, this is the point. It's there to get you into fighting quickly because, you know, the attention span is not long. It's not a very long time, so they're quite keen to to keep you playing, let's say. Whereas in this game, you decide your speed of pace, and I really like that. So, and for example, what I mean by that is you actually can do what I'm about to do here, which is you can just sit and snipe and sit and watch and sit and shoot and pick your targets and so on. I really, really, really like that. We've got to collect the spin metal, got to catch them all. And I think there's definitely something quite there's definitely something evocative about the whole thing, because it's what I think gave me the realization that this was something quite special, was that ability to dictate your own pace of the game. So you'll see in a minute what we do. We're basically just going to go and sit and snipe from an elevated position. Now, I found pretty much on most of the maps, well, most of the map, singular, the ideal place to do this. And the ideal place for many of these areas is somewhere high. Now, with the particular rifle I've got, which is a rifle that picks up ammo, which is always quite funny, that is actually a good thing, because it means that I'm able to just keep a distance, and then when I see it drop sniper ammo, I can stay there. So it's pretty good. I would also say the ammo packs are definitely worth investing in, because there's not much else you're going to spend your glimmer on, really, is there? So I actually carry at least sort of 5 to 10 packs of the sniper ammo just in case as well. It's expensive, but it's worth doing. I wish the rocket ammo wasn't as expensive, because I actually do quite like the rocket launcher. I just don't think it's got enough ammo. But there we go. Look at that. Knife to the face. Blap. Oh, this game. Now, again, here's another kind of, I guess, discussion point for you. Do you agree with this? Post in the comments. There are certain games out there that reward the progression of actual skill, not skill points in the game and unlocking bollocks. It's actually the appearance of skill in the player. Now, Elite Dangerous is one of these, because obviously that's a game where you have to learn, and you learn how to fly. Then all of a sudden you're not just flying, you're showboating, and all of a sudden you're doing stunts, and that's how comfortable you get with each ship, because each ship is different. They have a different feel. Some of them have got heavy asses and, you know, all the junk in the trunk, whereas some of them are really kind of sprightly and nimble. So you basically are learning, if you like, how to effectively become good at those things, right? Now, Destiny is exactly the same. You start off, you're not too sure how the class works, then all of a sudden you're dropping from above and overbombing everything in sight. And that's the power of this game, I think, because that is exactly what people want to feel that they can do, is they can feel that they're good at it. Their skill is something outside of the game parameters. It's a capability, and I think that has got to be one of the best things Destiny has done. because it does make you feel as if you're powerful. It does make you feel as if you're skilled. And I think that's exactly what was, look at that knife throw. That's through lots of practice, I might add. But that's exactly the kind of good feeling that you get from doing something like that. And that's just, again, practice and skill. It's difficult, do you know what I mean? I mean, post in the comments, do you agree with that? I think certainly Destiny's biggest thing is it's become a much more skill-driven game. Now, I'm not saying that Battlefield 4 and Call of Duty and all these other games don't have skill. Of course they do. But I think it's a different thing. I think it's more kind of reaction-based. It's more stuff that maybe you could never learn. It's just you've either got it or you don't. So that could be hard, fast reactions, for example. You can't teach yourself really to get fast reactions. You kind of can, but it's difficult. It's muscle memory, I know, but it's not as easy as you maybe would say. But with this game, you learn how to move. You learn the tactics that work. And therefore you become better at the game, and I think that is just my observation so far. Again, I'm not saying this has anything other than what other games have. It just feels that as if they've really made it a kind of a core thing of the game, that your skill is quite important. Okay, so I don't know if that makes any sense or not at all, but it doesn't feel like it does. There we go, inviting dudes to the fire team. See Schlee's looking to get in. Now, what we're doing is we're actually heading towards that area where they just keep fighting each other over and over, and they escalate and they get more and more kind of aggressive, etc. So, yeah, we'll show that. This is it. This is this area here. If you remember this area, this is the death the death area. So keep watching, because any moment now is when it starts to escalate and you get all the ultras and the majors coming. And thankfully there's a few of us here, level 8s, who can actually kind of take these dudes on, which is pretty cool. There we go. So you got the Hive on one side, and you've got the Fallen, or whatever they're called, on the other side. So they basically they just fight, basically. And if we weren't here interrupting them, you would be seeing, well, they'd be fighting. Now, I really didn't necessarily capture that entirely. That fight between them, I never let it escalate when I was here. So I'm kind of gutted I missed it, because I only really found out about it towards the last few days, and I was on the moon. But I really, I really wish I had done that, because it is something I really would love to have seen a bit more of. I always know that this attracted the high tier players always. This is where they all came to this particular zone, if you like. And there you go, look at that, they've spawned again, and they're pretty, I mean, again, there's a captain there as well, as a major, I think they're called majors, and then ultras are like the super high level ones. I don't know, actually, post in the comments what was the difference between majors and ultras. Maybe we've not seen an ultra yet. Maybe these are just majors because they've got that different coloured health bar. I don't know, I'm not actually entirely sure. But either way, it's pretty cool. Oh, look at that, nope, I thought that was loot. There's definitely something quite sort of invigorating about these open PvE kind of areas as well. Admittedly, there's a lot of high-level dudes here, so we're dominating them completely, which is quite funny. But again, I'd love to know how that works, because it does seem after a while they just disappear, but I'm pretty sure they don't leave. I think it's just they disappear. The server separates us somehow onto different levels. I don't know, but to me it's quite cool. And certainly with what's about to spawn, it's probably not a bad thing that they were here, given that they, all of a sudden these super high level, very, very kind of challenging dudes spawn. But again, this is kind of the game, I guess, is that people are going to have to learn this stuff. I think it's going to be interesting to see if there's a third faction of these dudes. There probably is, and I think then it'd be really cool to see how they fight. I'm actually quite excited about the whole PvE aspect and watching little wars fight. You know what I mean? That could be quite amusing. But again, I don't know. I mean, I really don't know a great deal more than the average Joe here about what on earth this game is going to do. In fact, I probably know a lot less, because I've really just tried to oh, Schlee dropped. Let's invite him again. I've tried to keep my kind of interest in this as pedestrian as possible. I'm not reading up about it massively yet. I think I will eventually, but I think it's just, again, I don't want to to kind of, I guess, blow my load before the game's out. I feel a bit kind of, I don't know, it'd bother me a lot if I'd read too much about it and then sort of sat there feeling shitty when the game's off. So when the game's on, and it's then on for permanently, that's when I think I'll start really reading about it and getting a bit more into the lore. Otherwise I just feel a bit sad that I can't play it. So at the moment it's just a good shooter to me, but there we go. But you know, what really, you know, can we say about this game? I think it's showing it's going to be something quite special. It is lovely to see new IPs coming along as well. I think one of the things that really bothers me about a lot of old games is that they keep doing them. I mean, Nintendo have just given up trying to do other games now. Really, they have. And it's always Zelda, it's always Mario, because they know they sell, and there's nothing wrong with that. But you know, there's never going to be anything new in those scenarios, and I think that's a shame, because I would love to see something new come along, and this is why Destiny to me is actually quite important, because it is an all new IP finally, that is going to be big. It's not kind of like you know, a trial thing, and I think that's needed. I really do. Halo 5, for example, is coming soon, and it'll do well, it will sell well, and it'll be a good game, but it's kind of the same thing over and over. I would like to see something a little bit different, and I think that's going to be the next big thing to kind of watch for is something like this. And also on the PC as well, I know there's a lot of desire to keep making the same game over and over. I hear they might be doing a Dark Souls 3. Oh god. So it's like, I don't know, they're good games, don't get me wrong, very good games, but after a while you just think to yourself, well, you know, we've got to do something different soon, because otherwise it's just the same thing over and over. And I think people eventually get wise to it. You know, I mean, I stopped playing Halo at Halo 4, I think. In fact, I think I only played Halo Reach, and then I didn't play Halo 4, I think. And that's because it was kind of like, well, I've kind of done this now. I've seen it. I've kind of done it all. You know, there's not much more to see. So that really put me off it quite a bit, and I think that was really what I kind of, you know, what kind of pissed me off about it a little bit. So there we go, we died, and Schley dropped from gang. So I tell you what, next video tomorrow, we'll show you that battle between the Ultras eventually spawning. So there we go, I hope you enjoyed that. We'll see you next time.